When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle. Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast where if someone takes a spill, it's you and not me.
Oh no! Oh no, Kyle.
Oh yes.
Is this how it's going to be today?
This is how it's going to be.
I'm Mike Johnson.
Don't tell me. I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today,
I love that song from Glee.
Yeah. Yeah, Leah Michele was amazing.
She was so good at it. We're going to talk about Barbra Streisand.
We're going to talk about Babs. But first. How long until I should start the gloating, Kyle? That's really...
It's
really important to me.
You trounced me. I think we start that in the episode proper.
Great. Okay. Well, then just wait.
I'll bide my time.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Spell coming. Yeah. But first, I did want to read a nice little thing that we got. Feedback, corrections, 100 words, that kind of stuff. Use my hole, everybody. This is from John in our email. Hey, Mike and Kyle. Just finished this week's episode on dieting and just felt the need to email you and say thank you for it. First of all, I appreciated everything that was talked about as it related to bottoming and the bottom diet. More importantly, though, I really appreciated when you both were a bit vulnerable about your weight fluctuations and how that affected you both in dating and hookups. As a guy who identifies as a bear and has always been on the heavier side, I've always struggled with seeing myself as being hot or desirable to other guys. Mike, you mentioned the feeling of being invisible, and that resonated with me so deeply. But don't get me wrong, I've gotten my fair share of sex. But even through all that sex, there is a small voice in the back of my head that always asks why they are having sex with me. It is so hard to give myself grace that someone might actually want to hook up or date me. The excuses that Kyle mentioned, as they feeling sorry for me, they did it out of guilt, etc., also really resonate for me. Just wanted to say that I love the show and have always had a good time listening, but I really felt this episode and wanted to say thanks for making me feel seen. Congrats on the book. Hope to get to DC to see you in March. You guys, Derek included, are the best. John.
Oh, thanks, John.
Thanks, John. And yeah, I mean, I think we as a community need to talk about this more. And glad that you could at least feel seen and not alone.
Yeah.
And now the news. Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News. News the first. Everything's bad.
Everything's bad, and you should feel bad today.
Somebody in our Discord was saying just this morning that they thought maybe instead of saying everything's bad and you should feel bad, that we tell everybody to rise up and fight and resist.
Everything's bad, and you should resist life today. Well, we don't want to resist life. Yeah. We should probably give some more action-oriented, inspirational kind of message.
Yeah. But the best thing that you can do to fight trans rights and the erosion of trans rights in this country is buy a ticket to one of our live shows coming up. and buy a copy of the book. News the first.
What's up, Mike?
2024 Dickbag Fuckface Award winner, Asshole Award winner, President, Dear Leader Orange Shitler, has issued executive orders targeting the transgender community, and as a result, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is removing content related to HIV from their website.
Isn't that so fucked up?
I mean, yeah.
We're going back to the dark ages.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's from the order that prohibits federal agencies from making any mention of, quote, gender ideology, which gender is not an ideology.
There's science,
the right is so fucking stupid. They just want to add an ology or an ism to the end of something they don't like and then pretend that it's somehow an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get to have opinions about what science says. That's just not how it works. And I'm sorry you're so misinformed that you don't understand what we already know. But these facts are just true and they're not ologies.
Oh my God. Anyway, But it's given staffers little time to implement the changes with its deadline of Friday afternoon, so they have started taking down HIV-related pages regardless of if they mentioned gender or not, because they don't have the time or the bandwidth to go through and thoroughly scan everything. At least that's what they're saying about it. Charles Ezell, the acting director of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, titled Defending Women, sent an email to CDC employees on Tuesday, and it directly ordered them not to make any references to gender ideology and to only recognize two sexes, male and female, against medical facts. There's just so much... An anonymous staffer told the outlet, quote, "There's just so much gender content in HIV that we have to take everything down in order to meet the deadline." And it's just... Lots of people are understandably panicked that this means things like HIV education is going to cease, that PrEP is going to be affected in some way in what's covered or how it's covered, that insurance companies and employers are going to feel emboldened to remove any sort of protections for contraception. All of that is very understandable. I think that is slightly premature, although probably the direction that they're going. But I don't think that's like a this week thing. And
yeah, we still have a whole nother 3 years and 51 weeks to go.
It's going to be at least 3 more days, Kyle. In fact, by the time this goes to the air, maybe PrEP is illegal. And of course, not just PrEP, but HIV treatment, right? Like there are people in this country who are living with HIV and succeeding at it more than at any other point in history because of advances in medication and treatment options. And I mean, if that goes away for whatever reason, for whatever fucking ology of the week they decide merits removing it, those people will eventually get AIDS and they will eventually die. And I think that it's worth asking. Maybe that's the point. And it is horrific. It's horrifying. And I've seen people advocating for like stockpiling. They're like, ask your doctor if maybe they could give me like a year's prescription, please. And most insurance companies would balk at that because PrEP is so expensive. But maybe it's worth asking, or at least get a 90-day prescription. That's what my doctor writes me. So if you're doing like a month-to-month thing, maybe try 90 days, girl.
My insurance won't do that.
Oh, fuck. See?
Yeah.
Fuck this country.
Yeah.
Great.
Everything's bad and you should rise up against fascism today.
Any more on that, Kyle?
No.
God, it's the worst. Okay.
The people that thought they were just going after trans people is like, no, it's the entire community. Not that you need them to come after the community to care about trans people, but like, no, they're going after gay people too. Care about everyone in the community. Because everyone is important.
Yeah. Well, okay. News of the second.
Yeah.
So, former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's gay, slammed President Dickbag Fuckface Asshole on Thursday after Dickbag Fuckface Asshole blamed the deadly midair collision of an American Airlines passenger jet and a U.S. Army helicopter over the Potomac River on diversity, equity, and inclusion hiring policies.
Sure. Why not? I'm surprised Boeing hasn't issued a statement saying everything is the fault of DEI.
It was a cis white dude that was in the control tower. It was a cis white dude flying the airplane. It was a cis white dude flying the helicopter. Fuck you and your fascist horse shit, you dickbag. Fuck right the fuck off with that fucking horse shit.
Second. Ditto. Agreed. Yes.
I can't, Kyle.
They're just using trans people as scapegoats for literally every single problem. This is just like, I feel like his first term, it was always the Democrats. It was everything was like the fault of the Democrats. Yeah. And now it's just trans people are the problem every time. And
the people of color.
Yeah.
Like there's that meme that's going around of like, the N-word throughout history.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, the N-word was just the N-word, and then eventually it got to CRT is the N-word, and then it got to DEI is the N-word, and like maybe by the end of this year, the N-word will just be the N-word again. But that's really what a lot of people mean. They say DEI, but they mean racism. Mm-hmm. I am actively being racist.
Yeah.
Because they mean not white straight dudes, and anyway, so Dickbag Fuckface Asshole said that Pete Buttigieg was a disaster and, quote, he's just got a good line of bullshit, which every Republican accusation is a admission, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Also
use a different word than disaster. That word is so overused. Like, he uses that so much.
Well, but that's the only one that his followers know.
Yeah.
Bad. He could say bad.
He could say bad.
They know that one.
They
Good, bad, and like never before.
Right.
Anyway. I'm sorry, everybody.
You don't gotta be sorry.
Yeah, okay. I don't gotta be sorry. News the last.
Yeah.
Olympia, Washington, which is about 45 minutes from here, is officially the first sanctuary city for LGBTQ plus people.
Oh, it's both nice and like the underlying need for that is scary. So this is one of those double-edged swords of a news story.
We could just all move to Olympia, everybody. It'd be the biggest gay orgy that ever happened.
Oh my God, sniffies would be popping.
Yeah. The city council voted unanimously at a meeting on Tuesday to declare the state capital a sanctuary for the queer community, specifically outlining protections for trans people and gender-affirming care. The resolution, introduced by Assistant City Manager Stacey Ray, mandates equal and dignified treatment under the law regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Quote, declaring Olympia a sanctuary city means recognizing the inherent worth and equal rights of LGBTQIA2S plus people and demonstrating a commitment to protecting and advocating for individuals by rejecting policies and actions that promote discrimination, harm, and inequity. Now, apparently Washington State already has a shield or refuge law in place protecting access to gender-affirming care. It was passed in 2023. But the city ordinance in Olympia will specifically ensure local resources are not used to aid law enforcement from other jurisdictions in their attempts to prosecute the families of minors receiving gender-affirming care, as well as their healthcare providers. It also prevents the city from sharing information about an individual, their sex, gender assigned at birth, or healthcare, and with other agencies. And I think that's pretty fantastic, and we need more of it. My fear, though, is that the insanity that we're seeing at the federal level is going to lead to, tariffs or something. I don't know what, that seems to be the only bullet he has right now, but that non-compliance with this draconian, there are only two genders, period, will lead to funding being cut off to really vulnerable people. That the beatings will continue until you comply kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But for now, Olympia is taking a stand, and I think that counts for something.
Yeah, it does. It does count for something. It's, trying to find hope in a hopeless place, and you got to do it somewhere.
Oh.
We found hope in a hopeless
Is that Rihanna?
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
We found love in a hopeless place, but we didn't find love.
That's the news.
That's the news. Speaking of hope in a hopeless place, I want to thank the following new Patreon members.
Yeah.
Thank you to Mal Mercury.
Mal,
yeah.
M-A-L?
Yep.
Mal Mercury.
Yeah. You can't make fun of someone's name who's our Patreon member.
I can't.
Okay, that's true.
In fact, I think if I don't, they're upset.
Christopher Parker.
See, I didn't say a fucking thing. Kyle.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Christopher. And Sile Ponchot. It's like Kyle, but with a C.
Sile?
Maybe Sile. Maybe it is Kyle, and it's just a different spelling that I've never seen before. Anyway, Kyle or Sile Ponchot. If you want ad-free episode day early, if you want bonus segments and episodes, if you want to use my hole, then go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it.
Do you want to talk about Barbra Streisand?
I am the champion.
That's not Barbra Streisand. Yeah.
I fucking rocked you, Kyle.
You totally, you owned me this time around.
I mean, you owned me the month before.
That's true.
And so I got to put up 2, and you got to put up 1 choice for the poll this month for Patreon. And I chose... who are we talking about? Barbra Streisand. And Madonna, and you chose Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
And you had me scared because Derek and you at the end, at the meeting where we were choosing our topics, Derek was like, my money's on Kathy Griffin. You're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, mine was on Barbra Streisand.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is wild. And I'm sorry, not sorry for what's about to come out of my mouth. Everybody. The polls were so different. The super gap bridgers who have the main poll overwhelmingly voted for Barbra Streisand, and I think she came in third in the tiebreaker poll, which just tells me that the super gap bridgers who are giving us money are old.
Or they're classy,
Are giving us
tasteful individuals who have a sense of style and poise.
Nah.
Don't say don't be mean to them. They give us money.
They like it.
Okay.
They like it.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you know what's good for you, give us more money, faggots.
This is not our FinDom episode.
Oh, sorry. It just comes naturally.
Yeah. In the main poll that our Gap Bridgers voted on, Kathy Griffin and Madonna were tied. So we went to the tiebreaker poll to figure out what the bonus episode this month is going to be, and 42% of tiebreaker votes were for Madonna. Yeah. So Madonna is going to be the bonus episode this month.
See, so like in in my personal model here, super gap bridgers are giving us the most money. They're the oldest. The tiebreaker poll is for the other tiers of Patreon. They have money, but slightly less money. So they're like, in the middle age-wise, and that's why Madonna won.
Okay.
And the youngins that want Kathy Griffin, there's...
Young people don't give a fuck about Kathy Griffin. It's only people my age.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah.
She maybe...
I don't think she's made another round of,
We do need to talk
famousness.
about her, though, because eventually, just keep advocating for her, Kyle.
Okay. I always advocate for Kathy Griffin. Yeah. What do you want to tell me about?
Well, the history of Kathy Griffin.
You can't say it. So
No, Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
We said Kathy Griffin like 14 times in a row, so it was stuck on her for a second. Barbra Streisand. Kyle, first I want to just talk about my normal fear that we're going to fuck this up.
Oh, for sure. If you like Barbra Streisand, don't listen to this episode. You're going to hate it.
Yeah. She's not my, I just don't, well, okay.
She's not your personal gay diva.
Not my personal gay diva, and I don't understand it. I understand it a little bit better after doing this research for the episode or whatever, but I don't know. First of all, the number one thing that I learned, she's not your personal diva either, right?
No, she's not.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was before my time, so I came into entered the gay world not really understanding much about why people cared about her or kind of her career. Ooh. Yeah. This is all stuff that people are going to get mad at when you say her career, the bulk of her career happened before I was either alive or gay.
Right.
So I missed out on it.
Yep. I think that's true. I think that's true. I don't know if that's one of those, that fact might hurt, but I don't think it's untrue.
Okay.
Yeah, and in my head, there's a gay diva continuum, like the queen of the gays at any given year can change hands or whatever, and I feel like her crown, Barbara's crown, was taken by Bette Midler, and in the middle there, and then I feel like Bette Midler lost her crown to Madonna.
Oh, I was gonna say Cher.
Yeah, Cher.
Where was Cher in there?
Cher's probably parallel with Barbara.
Oh, okay.
Because Sonny and Cher, they got started in the 60s as well. I don't know. Anyway, and then I feel like it's been pop divas sort of since Madonna, but maybe not. Anyway, Barbara. One of the things I learned about Barbara is that her birth name is Barbra, Barbra Joan Streisand. But for whatever reason, her name has gotten stylized as Barbra. No, it's Barbra.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Huh.
Which I think was maybe just some illiterate twink trying to spell it.
It fucked it up, and she's like,
okay.
That's it, honey.
She's an American singer, actress, songwriter, producer, and director. And she got started in the early 1960s performing in nightclubs and Broadway. So she came out of the New York theater scene, and automatically that starts the laying the foundation of, gays flocking to her. Once you start any connection to musical theater, like that automatically gives you some more gay points.
Wow, except that doesn't work for Leah Michelle. I don't think gays are flocking to her.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because she can't read.
I mean, okay, and I didn't realize literacy was so.
We value intelligence and literacy in this community more than anything.
Oh my god! So, some things that are interesting to know about her. She got started her first studio album after doing the nightclub and Broadway circuit was the Barbra Streisand album, and it was in 1963, and it won a Grammy. Not only did it win a Grammy, it won the Grammy for Album of the Year.
Wow.
1963. And I mean that's no small feat. That also leads to we've probably already had a couple of controversies, but here's a controversy, Kyle.
Yeah.
Has she EGOTed? Because an EGOT is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, and she does have one of each of those.
Yeah, she does. I think she did.
But her Tony is a special Tony.
Oh.
It's not a real Tony.
It's a real Tony to earn a Lifetime Achievement Award or whatever.
No, it was Artist of the Decade for the 60s.
I mean, to earn a Tony for Artist of the Decade is pretty hard to do, I would think.
I mean, sure. But also, can you be the Artist of the Decade if you didn't, knock it out of the park? And get a different real Tony?
Stop calling it a real. She got a real Tony.
So she also was a smart cookie. So when she was 21, she signed a contract with Columbia Records, and that contract, she insisted, gave her full creative control in exchange for less money. So she took a pay cut to be master of her own domain artistically. And I think that's pretty fucking great.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
So she said about that, quote, "The most important thing about that first contract, actually the thing we held out for, was a unique clause giving me the right to choose my own material. It was the only thing I really cared about. I still received lots of pressure from the label to include some pop hits on my first album, but I held out for the songs that really meant something to me." And she utilized that power several times. What I think is sort of interesting about that is there's a lot of, we hear a lot of stories, especially about female artists during the 60s of they get signed to a label that basically destroys their will to live, but they're under contract forever.
Yeah.
And it totally crushes their soul from a musical perspective. And I think for her to be a pioneer in the Taylor Swift sort of fuck you, I'm going to take over and be master of my own domain, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially that early.
Let's see. She has. Oh, also, we should have said a little bit ago. So Madonna won the tie, so she's going to be the Patreon bonus episode for February. So look forward to that, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's see. She has topped the U.S. Billboard 200 chart with 11 albums, which was the record for a woman until 2023. That includes People in 1964, The Way We Were in 1974, Guilty in 1980, and The Broadway Album in 1985. She topped the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 with 5 singles: The Way We Were, Evergreen, You Don't Bring Me Flowers with Neil Diamond, No More Tears, Enough Is Enough with Donna Summer, and Woman in Love.
I don't think I know one of those songs.
I know The Way We Were because I don't like that song. So let's see. She then got into film. So she started on Broadway, and then she got into music, and then she got into film by the end of the 60s by starring in the critically acclaimed Funny Girl in 1968. And that, I think, has been the thing that has been most endearing about her and her career. That just keeps popping up over and over again. For instance, in Glee, right? The whole Leah Michelle thing, and then truth being stranger than fiction of what the fuck was that bitch's name in the show? She was
Rachel Berry.
Yeah. So Rachel Berry like insists on going to NIADA or whatever the fuck it was, and moving on to Broadway doing Funny Girl, and then Lea Michele did it in real life. I don't know, that whole thing. Like, I think the brightest line between like who is Barbra Streisand and why do we care goes through Funny Girl for like our modern lens.
Yeah, and she won the Oscar for that.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. With the release of Yentl in 1983, she became the first woman to write, produce, direct, and star in a major studio film.
Wow.
And that film won an Oscar for Best Original Score, a Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Musical. She received the Golden Globe for Best Director, becoming the first and for 37 years the only woman to win that award.
Wow, that's sad. Women just must not be good directers. That's weird.
Right. That's the only possibility.
It's so weird that they're so bad at directing film.
Yeah, and then we got... Maybe she was a DEI hire that worked out. And then she later produced and directed The Prince of Tides and The Mirror Has Two Faces. She's one of the best-selling recording artists of all time. And so she's in her 80s now. She did a carpool karaoke that was pretty great. And what else did I have about the history?
She wrote a book that not too long ago.
That's true.
That is true.
I don't remember about what though.
It was a memoir.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's Barbra.
Okay.
Her history.
I'm going to tell you what I found on Why She Gay Icon.
Right.
But it was weird because unlike other artists that we've done or other gay icons, usually there's like an article that's like, why is this person a gay icon? And then I write down all the reasons they give and read them to you. Yeah. There was not this. So I pulled this from other articles about why she's gay icon.
Maybe this is just unmined or Kyle. Maybe you need to write an article on why Barbra Streisand's a gay icon.
Oh, gotcha.
If it isn't there, you could be the one that
I don't think I should be the one. I'd be like, she was kind of good. But so most of the articles that were like, here's why she's a gay icon, just gave a biography of her and expected you to translate that into like, oh, now I get it. It
does seem like there's a lot of shit out there that's like, she's a gay icon because she is.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, great.
She's a gay icon because she first started in Broadway on this day and then went to Funny Girl, and you're like,
fucking why?
What does that mean? Why do we care so much? Okay, so I read on Instagram there was a post from NPR Fresh Air and Barbra Streisand's Instagrams that had the following back and forth. Terry Gross, why do you think you became a gay icon?
Oh, this will be good.
Barbra,
do you listen to Terry Gross? Like, I love her. I listen to her all the time, and she is the quintessential NPR host.
Oh, okay. So Terry Gross said, why do you think?
Why
do you think you became a gay icon? And Barbra Streisand said, no idea, because I could be imitated, because I had certain rebel quality, a certain thing that was different that they felt when I sang, that it was about heartbreak. What do you think? And Terry says, I think it's also because you brought so much drama to your singing, and there's something just big about it. Big in passion, big in the power of your voice.
What do you, non-gay man Terry, think about this? Speak for them.
Speak for the homosexuals. So, like, none of that is very tangible reasons. Like, I think could be imitated. There's something there, because having like a drag queen being able to play you, it seems like an important quality to a gay icon.
Yep.
Let's see. Another thing that articles pointed out is that she was surrounded by gay men early in her career.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about some of them.
Okay. So I should not tell you about them.
Well, or just tell me, like, Barry Denon. I'm going to talk about Terry Long. I'm going to talk about Bob Schulenberg. These are all names on your list, maybe?
Literally the same exact people.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Yep.
So in one of the articles I read, it said, quote, it used to be said that behind every great man was a woman. What seems to be more true is that behind every great gay icon is a gay man, or 2 or 3 or 20. You'll tell us more about those gay men. But she was molded by the gay men around her, which
If a drag queen makes a look for a gay icon that then other drag queens can imitate, does anyone really see the makeup?
Her makeup is the same in every fucking movie because I think she demanded that it be.
Apparently also she did it herself.
Oh.
Well, that was, I don't know if it's true, but like one of the stories that I read, one of the rumors that I read was that she insisted on doing her own makeup and that a lighting guy be assigned to her so that they could light her dressing room the way that the lighting was going to be in the scene they were about to shoot. Oh. And then she would do her makeup so that it looked correct in that lighting.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Also brown M&Ms in a brandy glass or some shit.
A brandy glass?
No, I didn't.
Yum. Let's see. Queer allyship was a through line in her memoir. She said, quote, "I believe we all have certain needs in common. We want to be happy. We want to be loved. We want to be respected, no matter what our sexual orientation. No one should have to live a lie." So apparently she was an ally, which is, I think, getting more important. But was important even back in her day. Yeah. And in Billboard, every Pride Month does letters to the LGBT community. So hers in 2017 was thus. The first time I ever sang for a paying audience was at a gay club, The Lion in Greenwich Village. I was 18 years old and had never been in a nightclub before. The gay community supported me from the start, and I will always be grateful. Decades later, I remember sitting in a theater and watching Larry Kramer's play The Normal Heart with tears running down my cheeks. It was 1985 and Ronald Reagan was president, and it was heartbreaking to know people were dying while he refused to even say the word AIDS. I wanted more people to see this powerful story about everyone's right to love, so I tried for 25 years to get it made as a movie. No one would touch it, but thank God times have changed. Marriage equality is the law, and that for now. And that deserves a toast to all of us, but we're all... because we're all unique and beautiful in our own way and entitled to love and be loved by whomever we choose. So continues to be an ally to queer people. But those are all like the things I found in articles about why she's a gay icon, which I don't think any of them really did a good job. I think you're right that this is unmined, or that I don't think they did a great job of really identifying why it is she's a gay icon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think maybe we will discover more as we go.
My notes are terrible for this episode, by the way, but I did find this paragraph. I just forget what the resource was. It said, in 1962, whenever a teenage singer from Brooklyn named Barbra Streisand appeared on the television talk show PM East, gay bars all across the country turned off their music so their patrons could watch. Streisand was unpredictable. When host Mike Wallace asked her what she was going to sing next, she replied, "The Kinsey Report." With her perfect figure, prominent nose, and 2-inch-long fingernails, and a voice that one critique called a natural wonder of the age, Streisand was gate-crashing her way into the big time at a time when beauty and talent were measured by the likes of Elizabeth Taylor and Audrey Hepburn. For gay men, Streisand was fabulousness defined. And, as always, what the gays first identified as special eventually became the thing everybody wanted. And it wasn't long before Barbra Streisand was the biggest star in the world.
That is something that I read in a user's post on Reddit that I don't think I ended up using, was like the very first reason he gave that gays love her is like the gays got there first. And gays often are trendsetters in identifying people before other people do. And this was clearly one where the gays found her even before she became like the superstar that she would become to be.
Yeah. That's a little rude.
What?
Well, it was an Advocate article called "Why Barbra Streisand Matters," which that implies that maybe she doesn't. I guess. Like, anyway. Okay, so let's talk about these gay dudes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Lion in your stuff there, because that is where she got her start, and it was a gay bar, and that's where she started to sort of collect her gay army of people helping her with her look, her performance, her shtick, her everything. And so I was just going to talk about these three dudes. So first, Barry Denon is the name of a dude that is he was an American actor and writer in his own right. He was best known for playing Pontius Pilate on the original 1970 recording of Jesus Christ Superstar. And he was born in Chicago. But from 1960 to 1961, he had a relationship with Barbra Streisand. And some places report on that as he was her boyfriend. And sometimes it's just a purely platonic relationship, or like how girls will sometimes say that they live with their girlfriend.
Yeah.
They're not lesbians. They're just friends who are girls.
Yeah.
That he was that kind of boyfriend. That maybe it was like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. The thing that I wrote down said her boyfriend, Barry Dennen. Mm-hmm. So at least the thing I wrote said boyfriend.
Yep. But that boy was gay. He came out later. And he died in 2017 at the age of 79. But so he is in a few places mentioned as one of the people to sort of shape her singing style. This HuffPo article, "The Gays Behind Barbra," said that he, quote, was one of the first to recognize the gift of Barbra's voice and encourage her to pursue work as a singer. Dennen introduced Barbra to the music of all the legendary chanteuses, from Helen Kane to Mabel Mercer to Billie Holiday to Judy Garland, while helping her develop her singing style and stage banter. And it was his song selections and his helping her craft. That was what she took to the stage for those first few performances at the Lion. There's a really cool website called barbara-archives.info. And
sure, classy.
It has all of this, there's photographs and there's drawings of outfits, and there's a whole page on the Lion. And apparently Dennen got her ready for this audition for the guy who managed the Lion, named Burke McHugh. He said, quote, "I used to audition the contestants along with my male pianist every Monday morning. We'd select 4 of them to come back for the contest. We were having auditions out in the bar in the front room, and this girl came along wearing a pair of dungarees with her hair down to her shoulders. So we brought her out into the front room. I heard about 2 lines come out, and I said to the piano player, 'Oh my God, this girl is unbelievable.' So I said to her, 'Hold it a minute. Let's go back in the back room with the grand piano.' So we moved into the back room where there was a microphone. I turned the mic on and was asked her name. She said her name was Barbra Strindberg. So I said, 'Okay, Miss Strindberg, do a number for us.' When she sang, the piano player looked at me and I looked at him. We just couldn't believe what we were hearing. When she finished, I said to her, 'Oh my God, Barbara, that was really magnificent.'" So she worked with Barry Dennen on more songs. She won the $50 prize, was invited back the next week to compete again against gay comedian Mal James. Didn't we have a Mal who was a
We did have a Mal. Yeah. Wow.
And eccentric singer Tiny Tim. As I remember, Greer told author James Spada, she wore a tiny high-heeled shoe in her hair because she liked the rhinestones in it. Anyway, she performed at the Lion on Mondays and Saturdays for a while. She started using Barbra without the A in the middle during that time, and she said once, quote, "I was making $50 a week and all the London broil I could eat." Eventually she got big enough at the Lion that she sort of graduated to a bigger club around the corner called the Bonsoir. Now,
the Bone Swap?
Bonsoir, like the French.
I like Bone Swap better.
That's a great name for a gay bar.
It's a good gay bar name.
So another friend of Barbara's during that time, Terry Leong, did wardrobe for her. He did a bunch of sketches, and she got the materials for those sketches from thrift stores, and some of the drawings are really iconic, and I don't know, this isn't going to make for very good audio, but like this is a drawing by Terry Leong, and then she went to thrift stores to get the materials for these clothes, and that boy also very, very gay.
Yeah.
He also was interesting because he was Asian American and had to sort of hide his sexuality from his family. And Barbra sort of helped protect him so that they wouldn't find out, which I thought was really cool. It's like a sign of allyship, I think, when somebody is like, don't worry, boo, I got you.
Yeah. And to be surrounded by gay men that want to help you out. Like, there must be something about her that gays appreciated and liked and knew she supported them, because otherwise she wouldn't have those people doing all these things to help her in her career. Yep.
And then Bob Schulenberg is the last one that I want to talk about, who's from those Lion days. He met her on July 1st, 1960. And in a article, he said, quote, "I turned around and there was this very exotic looking creature wearing a kind of luxury jacket of red and silver metallic threads and huge Elizabethan sleeves that puffed out. And underneath, she had on a mulberry velvet short skirt about 1.5 inches above the knee. Minis didn't come into fashion for about another 5 years. She was wearing shopping bags stuffed with clothing, feathers, a beautiful lavender feather coat. When I won my first talent contest at the Lion, Streisand said, I didn't realize it was a gay bar. Sis Corman came opening night after I'd won, and I said to her, why are we the only women here? She laughed and told me where we were." And Bob Schulenberg then had a lot of influence on, in particular, her makeup. Her way of doing her mug for her appearances, especially in those early days, was influenced by this drag queen. And the smoky eye and the very dramatic sort of presentation, all of that was very intentional, and Bob Schulenberg gets a lot of credit for all of that. So anyway, her vocal coach, her wardrobe guy, and her makeup dude all were gay men.
Yeah.
And all because she got her start in this gay bar, the Lion.
This is like Queer Eye, but real life. Like, just gays doing it up to make her, the most like presentable, fashionable person they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like a tour of all the things I'm bad at too. Like, don't ask me to help you with your makeup if you need a good style. Or...
Right. Yeah, me neither. No. I can barely do laundry.
Yeah. I think I'm going to tell you about an Ask Reddit.
Ooh.
And then for the Patreon bonus segment, I'm going to talk about the Streisand effect.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Streisand effect.
Yeah. So this was actually an Ask Reddit, but it was actually on Quora. So there were a few different...
Quora. It's like Reddit, but not.
But trash. I mean, Reddit is pretty trash. It depends. I don't know. Quora's user interface is just horrible. Anyway.
Is it Quorable?
No. No, it's not. I'm going to cut that. I hated it. Okay. One person answered with the following list.
Great.
1, she's a brilliant entertainer. Her voice is amazing.
Great.
2, she's a tough broad and isn't afraid to tell you to piss off.
Great.
3, she knows how to be camp. Her career started in Greenwich Village, for fuck's sake. They
Great.
just said FFS. Number 4, she has a gay son and has always embraced him as her gay son.
Nice.
That's important for good allyship. Another ringing endorsement for allyship.
We love a supportive mom.
Yeah. And 5, she fights for the same causes. She puts her money where her mouth is.
Yeah.
Which I didn't read anything to say like, here's how much she's donated, or she made, this big donation to, so I didn't realize until this person said it that she's donated to gay causes. So that's good. Someone else said, when talking about gay icons just overall, and including her as to why they're gay icons, it could be their powerful voice, their quick wit and sharp tongue, the fact that on screen or behind they don't take people's BS. They are viewed as powerful, dynamic leaders in their field. There's not a whole lot of mystery to the subject. They are idols. Mm-hmm. Which, that's a little self-referential, but that's okay.
She is because she is.
Because she is. But there's something about like not taking BS that I think, when we even talk about Betty White and her being like doing her own thing, not taking BS, like, women that gays love are always people that don't take other people's shit. Yep. And are willing to stand up and be loud and audacious. And
there is an archetype of like looking fabulous while having like a dirty mind that comes unfiltered out of their mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like not afraid to tell a sex joke or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Someone else said that is just a stereotype common among the bar and club crowd. Older white gay American men with a particular affect and stereotypical mannerisms. I can basically promise you that the vast majority of LGBTQ people have no interest.
Mm-hmm.
As a gay man myself, neither I nor any man I've ever dated or known closely has had an interest in Barbra Streisand, Judy Garland, Beyonce, Cher, or any other so-called divas. My musical tastes are on the punk, new metal, hard rock. My idols are gay men who own their identity and don't hide behind shuckling and jiving false identities.
You sound bitter and should maybe go to therapy.
You sound bitter, which to say like, oh, this is not like, I don't care about her is one thing. That's fine. But to be like, no gay man I've ever talked to has idolized any of these women.
Yeah, you don't have any friends then.
Yeah. Yes, we all know a gay man that has some kind of woman pop singer star as their idol. It's
almost like people are saying, like, from dickbag fuckface asshole,
yeah.
but like in reverse.
Yeah.
People aren't saying.
No one is saying.
No one is saying. Well, you're wrong.
Yeah. So that's, but an interesting take that they believe that there's older white gay American men with stereotypical mannerisms are the only ones that care. Someone said simply, she's always been a solid supporter of ours. Plus she's such a good singer, which I think talent, there has to be like a good level of talent. I don't know. We're going to talk about Madonna next, so maybe not, but
oh, man, I hope people join Patreon so they can hear it now.
There has to be some level of talent, I think, for us to care, but, and then no, I mean, you don't wait. Are you saying that about Barbra Streisand?
No, no, I would never.
You don't think Barbra Streisand is talented?
There is something. Okay. I
think she has an amazing voice.
When I talk shit about Taylor Swift, that's like, there's been quite a bit of, like, a large percentage of the hate mail that I've ever received doing this podcast has been because of my lukewarm feelings about Taylor Swift.
Right.
I am not that impressed by Barbra Streisand.
Wow.
And one of the accusations about T Swift that I get is that I'm a misogynist. And no, I fucking love Lady Gaga. I love Pink. I love Chappell Roan now. I love, Beyonce is a fucking powerhouse. Like, it is not that I have a problem saying that women are talented. There's just something about Barbra Streisand's voice that makes me want to stab myself in the face.
Wow.
And I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just an aesthetic choice. I don't know. But
some people have that for Miley Cyrus. Like, some people hate, she has like a distinct voice, vocal timbre that I think is can be off-putting to certain people. I don't think about that. I don't think that way about Barbra Streisand, though.
I don't know. And actually, I don't think it's the tone of her voice. It's something about her diction. I think
she has a weird way of moving her mouth.
Yeah.
But, okay. Do you think she's a good actor?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know that I've paid that much attention.
Okay. Have you seen Funny Girl?
Just the scene when she runs after the train.
Okay.
Because they play that at musical sing-alongs, like at Sidetrack or the places in Seattle that have done that sim format.
I watched this with a friend, Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Yeah. And loved Funny Girl.
Yeah.
We also watched Hello, Dolly. That was another movie she was in.
Yeah.
But that wasn't her. Okay. Hello, Dolly. She was great in. I think she's a great actress. And she's a great singer.
You just didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The plot is it's light on plot. It's more about the dancing and the songs, which I care more about the plot to things.
Was Carol Channing in it?
God, I don't remember any of the names of anyone in it.
Great. Now I gotta look. I'm sorry. Hello, Dolly, the film. Starring Barbra Streisand, Walter Matthau, Michael Crawford, Louis Armstrong. Okay. All right. Neat.
Yeah. Okay, last comment says, first off, I'm a gay man myself and happen to be a huge fan of BS, Barb Streisand fan, but I really haven't noticed much accolades for her out there in our community. Really? You haven't? Mm-hmm. I feel like I noticed plenty. Aside from the occasional, what?
Well, she's gotten to, well, I'll talk about this in another segment here in a little bit, but like, she definitely has like become, all you have to do is say her name and immediately gay people come to mind. Like, yeah. Like she's reached, like, do you, at that point, do you really need to read her resume or like give her accolades? She's a gay icon because she is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was never into the Star is Born stuff or The Way We Were stuff at all. I love her classic movies. On a Clear Day is my favorite musical. Maybe that's just because I kind of grew up with her presence on TV in the 60s and 70s, and I remember those performances fondly. I'll always have a love for Daisy Gamble, I don't know who that is, in my heart, and I don't care who knows it. She is one of my favorite personalities. So I think that having, like, growing up with them in your time period and seeing their personality and seeing them be kind of like a take no shit kind of woman.
Yeah.
And having memories of hang out with friends talking about Barbra Streisand. Like, I think there's also like a community aspect that we don't see, or, you know, with other pop divas, like, you know, going to the clubs and then playing the song and having memories of like dancing to their songs. Like, I think those memories that we have of them also play a role in building them up as an icon.
Yeah, I agree. I also wonder if there's a window of opportunity, and if you're ever going to get it, you need to get it while the time is right to get it. Like, I think that there are, like, culture changes slightly and different things stand out at different times to different people. And I wonder if there is, like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you just have to be there, or maybe you have to be there and then to ever have it like really connect with you, at least in the same way that it connects with the people who were there at that time. And I don't know, maybe, like, I can appreciate her. I'm just not compelled by her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get that.
One thing I did want to talk about that's not what I said I was going to talk about, sorry.
Sure.
Is did you know that she has a mall in her basement?
I'm sorry. A mall in her basement?
Yeah. So Streisand, this is from Far Out magazine in the UK. Quote, Streisand's life is the stuff of legend, and whether it be her creative work or dedication to philanthropy, there are lots of aspects to love. The New York native has been so successful that she's amassed a wealth of around $915 million.
So close to that billionaire status.
Which has allowed her to do unfathomable things to the rest of us, including building a shopping mall under her lavish home in Malibu, California.
Do people work there? Like retail jobs there? Does she employ people to go and pretend like she's buying things from them?
I'll keep reading. I heard about this years ago, and it popped in there while we were talking, and like, this just seems so gay. In her basement, Streisand constructed a mini shopping mall that features a gift shop, antique clothing shop, a doll shop, and a sweet shop that serves froyo and popcorn to the A-lister guests she invites to movie screening parties.
Wow, that doll shop is haunted for sure. That's creepy as fuck.
Added to this surreal sense is that each shop comes complete with old-fashioned shop fronts whose primary purpose is to store the vast collection of items she's accrued over the years. Quote, instead of just storing my things in the basement, I can make a street of shops and display them, Streisand told Harper's Bazaar in 2010.
Oh, it's like a closet kind of thing.
Yeah, but that looks like a store.
Right.
In 2015, it was revealed that Ryan Murphy, the creator of the hit series Glee, along with some other eminent peers, had visited the house at the invitation of Streisand. In an interview with Vulture, he recalled visiting her mall. Quote, we had dinner with Barbara and Jim and Kelly Preston and John Travolta and Gaga and I. A cacophony of faggotry. That's fantastic. And after dinner, she said, do you want to see the mall? And Gaga and I were out of that chair so fast, we went down to the mall and spent an hour down there. She pulled out her collection of gowns from Funny Girl and Hello Dolly. And then she said, do you want frozen yogurt? I could write a whole book about that night.
Wow, what a weird thing to do.
So John Travolta, Lady Gaga, Ryan Murphy were hanging out in Barbra Streisand's mall.
Yeah.
And then they had froyo. This is... I think I would probably watch that porn. Like, I don't. What is going on?
What a weird night.
What a weird night.
What a surreal night.
But yeah, she has a mall in her basement.
Okay, that's interesting.
I do have way too much space in my basement. Maybe I'll put a mall down here.
Yeah, you could start a mall. All your outfits from.
Well, Gina Antonic.
Oh yeah,
and then like everything anybody's ever sent us to the podcast.
Oh, I like that. I have like little shelves in my place that I put things that people send us to the podcast. So I'm not rich enough to have them all.
Me neither, but
you could try. You could try.
I could try.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's the mall in Barbra Streisand's basement. It's still me though, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about the movie In and Out. Do you remember the movie In and Out?
Nope.
Okay.
Have no idea about this.
Well, so In and Out is the story of Howard Brackett, who was played by Kevin Kline. Is this ringing a bell?
Nope.
At all?
I just think about burgers. Now I'm hungry.
It was a 1997 American comedy film. It was directed by Frank Oz, so it was directed by Yoda. For real. And stars Kevin Kline, Tom Selleck, Joan Cusack, Matt Dillon, Debbie Reynolds, Bob Newhart, Shalom Harlow. How do I say that?
Not like that.
And Wilford Brimley. Joan Cusack was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. And the whole thing was inspired by Tom Hanks receiving the Oscar for his role in Philadelphia in 1994, which, if you don't know, was about it's the story of a man who dies from AIDS, and Tom Hanks gave this like very moving, tearful speech about it. But when he won the Oscar, but in that speech, he mentioned his high school drama coach, Raleigh Farnsworth, and a former classmate, John Gilkerson, and said, quote, "Two of the finest gay Americans, two wonderful men that I had the good fortune to be associated with." They weren't out. He outed to people on national television.
Oh my God, while accepting his Oscar?
Oscar for playing a gay role.
Whoops.
So then In and Out was about that basic same plot. So he's a really well-liked English literature teacher living in this fictional town in Indiana with his fiancée, who's played by Joan Cusack. Her name is Emily. And so one of his former students, because he's the drama teacher at this school, Cameron Drake, played by Matt Dillon, receives the Best Actor Oscar for his portrayal of a gay soldier in a movie called To Serve and Protect. And he wins, and in his acceptance speech, he thanks Howard, dedicating the award to him, and finishes his speech with, "And he's gay." Now, everybody in that little community, including Howard, are shocked, and they freak out. And basically, the first 3/4 of the movie is him trying to convince everybody that he's not gay. Like, I'm getting married to this woman. It's like our show compressed into a movie, because they go through every gay stereotype, at least every gay stereotype that was around in 1997 when the movie was made.
Yeah.
And they sort of apply that lens to him and his behavior. And it's like everything except banging dudes is what they're evaluating him on. So, so because of the national news media, they all come to town, and they're like this gay teacher, and he has to like be on TV, be like, "I'm not gay," blah blah blah. Well, Tom Selleck, who is an entertainment reporter named Peter Malloy, is gay, and he stays behind, and
behind indeed.
So, and he's waiting. He wants to cover the wedding because Howard and Emily are getting married soon. Throughout all of this, it's found out or whatever, like, he dresses really well and wears a bow tie pretty often, and he has effeminate hand gestures that he utilizes when he's speaking, and he fucking loves Barbra Streisand. Will not shut up about Barbra Streisand. And it's like a major, like, well, of course he's gay then because he likes Barbra Streisand is the point. And it comes up over and over again as like almost like beating it with a dead horse. So a few with a dead horse? No, beating a dead horse.
It's like beating with a dead horse.
So for instance, Tom Selleck's character who tries to convince Howard that he really is gay.
Oh, sure.
Says, what was Streisand's 8th album? And he immediately says, Color Me Barbra, because he knows all of her albums and in what order. And he says, Stud. And Howard says, well, everyone knows that. And Peter says, everyone where? The little gay bar on the prairie? And the movie ends up with him realizing, he has a bachelor party. I didn't write this down in my notes. He has a bachelor party, and his friends give him a Barbra Streisand album for his bachelor party, like because he loves it so much. I think it was Funny Girl. And they're like, this is exactly what he would want for his bachelor party to his super straight wedding that he's going to have tomorrow, right?
My God, that reminds me of a time that for my birthday, someone gave me a Tony Braxton CD. He must have known I was gay before I did. You don't give a female artist CD to a straight guy.
No.
Yeah.
For sure not.
Yeah.
So basically he comes out of the closet as actually gay at the altar. While like getting married to Joan Cusack. And she freaks out, of course. She's like getting married to this now apparently gay dude, and she starts yelling about all this stuff. But she says, "Does anybody here know how many times I had to watch Funny Lady?" And Howard says it was a sequel. She was under contract, and she says, "Fuck Barbra Streisand and you." And then she slaps him across the mouth. And then later she asks him, are you really gay? And he says, mm-hmm. And she says, was there any other time you might have told me this? I'm wearing a wedding dress, which you picked out. I highlighted my hair because you said I needed shimmer. I loved you and I believed you and I pretended not to notice the Streisand thing. I thought you were just creative. I thought you were just smarter than me and more sensitive and more interesting. I thought you were the most wonderful man who ever lived. I thought you could just change my life and show me the whole world and teach me about art and life and magic. I thought you could make me feel like a beautiful woman instead of the girl nobody wanted.
Aww.
And it wrapped up in all of that are these stereotypes about what gay men are supposed to be and how they are. And I think for 1997, it's actually a pretty, I think it ages well. And I think that they tried their best to do the best that they could with this subject matter of like, gay people aren't just stereotypes. And anyway, but central to the plot of all this is that he was obsessed with Barbra Streisand, and that was like how we know he's gay.
Yeah. I mean, that checks out even today. I think that some stereotypes are true, and if someone is obsessed with Barbra Streisand, I would assume that they're gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would suck if you were straight and just happened to love Barbra Streisand. Now that I'm thinking about it, if you just coincidentally really like her,
yep,
because you're gonna get people. It'd be really hard to convince me that you were straight.
Yeah, well, and so if you're harboring a secret love for Barbra Streisand and you feel like you can't share it with anybody because you're afraid of what it might say to other people about your sexuality, even if it wasn't true, that's really kind of sad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is that like a gay guy loving MMA or something? Like, I don't know what the corollary is, but
I don't think there is one, because like as dudes, we're supposed to like things like MMA and football. And so if you're gay and you like those things, then you get to be like, no, I'm just a dude. I'm like other dudes. I'm not like those gays, like you get to do that whole thing, which is super annoying. Mm-hmm. And so you don't get judged for liking those things. Yeah.
Also, he loses his job for being gay. He was a teacher in 1997. So like
that would happen these days too.
Yep.
That's sad that we haven't moved on from that.
Yep. Did we do it?
No, I don't. We didn't talk about duck sauce.
What is that?
That's the song that I played before we started that is called Barbra Streisand.
Oh yeah. Barbra Streisand. Yeah. We didn't talk about Babura.
I don't know this.
Barbra Streisand is like a Godzilla character that destroys everything in an early episode of South Park.
Yeah.
And that's her song. That's her, like, anyway.
Why do you think she's a gay icon?
Because she is, Kyle.
You think she's one that is because she is?
I think that she was with us before Stonewall, and she just, like the ancient gods of yore, sprang fresh from the loins of the newly created universe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I think she has certain things. It's interesting because I think the expectations of more recent gay icons are that they more vocally advocate for or monetarily or whatever for the gay community. So I think apparently she's been an ally and has apparently, according to other people, put her money where her mouth is, but I didn't see a whole lot about that. I think campy talent, doesn't take BS, musical, easy to imitate by drag queens, reinvents yourself. I think she has a lot of those things that we look for.
The formula is there. The checklist checks.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of checks.
Lots and lots of things that we expect. I don't know that today she would, if she came out today, I don't know that she would have the same success or be the same gay icon that she was then.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think very much of her time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Do we do
All
it?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Go spilled them all in my basement. This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break. So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first,
hey,
fuckers.
Hey, listen up.
Listen
you
up.
beautiful people.
Yeah. So first of all, if you were listening to this on the Patreon feed, tonight is the quarterly Zoom Patreon happy hour. Look for the link for that in your app. It is at 6 p.m. Pacific tonight.
Yeah, or just in the Patreon website. It is posted to Patreon. February 5th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. Second, all of the tickets are now live and for sale for all of the stops on the book tour. So if you are in Seattle, we're having a free event this Saturday, so day after tomorrow, on February the 8th at Stir at 6 p.m. from 6 to 8 at Stir. It used to be Capitol Cider up on Capitol Hill in the Gayborhood. Then we're going to be in Atlanta at Round Trip Brewing on Saturday, February 22nd at 2 p.m. Then we're going to be in Chicago at Sidetrack on Saturday, March 8th at 2 p.m. Then we'll be in Washington, D.C. at Pitchers. That is Saturday, March 22nd at 2 p.m. Then we will be in San Francisco, California at Oasis, and that'll be Sunday, April 6th at 2 p.m. And hallelujah, thank the Lord Jesus, we got a venue secured. We're going to be in Dallas, Texas at the Rose Room, which is upstairs at Station 4. That'll be Sunday, April the 20th, Easter Sunday. Bring your bunnies at 1 p.m. Central Time. So if you want tickets again are live and ready to be sold for all of those events. That's at gayishpodcast.com/book.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Please. Also, do me an extra special favor, everybody. If you know anybody in Atlanta that might be even a little bit willing to come to a show, we need to sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Don't make me turn this car around.
Our website, this is not me.
Oh, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on social media at Gayish Podcast.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if it's your gayest or straightest, because we love to hear those in your pretty little voices. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Did we say where you can go find tickets? Did you say that? Gayish Podcast?
Gayishpodcast.com/book.
Did you say that? Okay. I was not listening.
All of the live show tour dates are listed there with their respective links to buy tickets.
Yeah. Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
Our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
Gayest and Straightest?
Let's do our gayest and straightest. Kyle,
Okay.
I will go first.
Okay.
The straightest thing about me this week is getting my fireplace working.
Oh.
I was like, it's cold. I want a fire. I have a fireplace now at this house. I have two actually. I'm gonna make one of them work. And had a friend of ours come over, and we turned knobs and swept some stuff and lit shit on fire. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah. Fire.
Fire is I'm a man.
And then the gayest thing about me this week is shopping for underwear for my boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get anything?
No.
Oh.
I kind of want to wait until I have like more money.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. How about you, Kyle?
How about me? My gayest is watching the movie Hello, Dolly.
Oh, yeah. That's... Yes.
That's gayer than sex with a man.
Yeah.
And my straightest is when I feel straight using aluminum foil on the baking sheets when I bake things, so I don't have to do an extra dish.
Great. Yeah. Good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
I always somehow end up getting the pan dirty anyway.
Oh.
So then it's like, what was the fucking point?
Do you need better aluminum foil? Does it like oil soak through?
Yeah. Well, parchment paper is good for that too, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Great.
We have a listeners.
Oh, we do. We have a listeners, Gayest, Straightest?
Yeah. A park ranger.
A park ranger? Hot.
Hi, I'm Seth. I'm a park ranger with the National Park Service, and Gayish and Straightest has been. I've also love your podcast, number one, primarily because of the fact that I work as a rural gay, and yes, who would have guessed, multiple hundreds of miles from anything that could be considered larger than a town. Can't cramp the dating community. Un poquito. Anyways, gay and straight for the week. Gayish. I made chocolate tart whilst also at the same time running around in a bright pastel pink shirt and honestly a very cute set of chinos. Straightest was having to arrest somebody because, hey, park rangers, I'm cop, I'm an EMT, a firefighter, search and rescue tech, and so on. Can't manage to date somebody. Anyways, this has been the train wreck of my phone call. Y'all have a great time. Bye!
Baking, gay.
Yeah. Arresting someone.
Also maybe gay, but...
might be a little bit gay, but you made it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Thanks for the voicemail.
Please send yours in. We would love to play them. It's 5855 Gayish.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Whoa, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you to everybody thank you to Barbra Streisand.
You know what?
Directly.
Finally. Thank you to Barbra Streisand.
Yeah. And for all of just the gay energy that she exudes.
Yeah, we need it now more than ever in these times. And also to thank you to our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Locomotive, Simon Strachey, Kaylee Adams, Kit Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squaggle, Pip, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Yost Osel, Jonathan Montanius, Forrest Nail, Steve Douglas, Explosive Zanya, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See ya.
Be the way you were.
Yeah.
And now the news. What, Kyle?
No, it's just always funny because then I can't say anything after you say now the news because it's the news theme song playing. So it's just a funny little moment for me where it's like, shut the fuck up, Kyle.
You can say whatever you want to. It's your show.
Yeah, but no, I can't because the news theme song has to play.
Well, you could play it under us bitching about it.
I could. I don't want to, though. It's its own thing. It deserves its time to shine.
All right. Well, news the first.